Hey guys, and welcome back to the Secret of Monkey Island. Let's continue on with our free trials and move on to the trial of sword play. We gotta become a swords master.
I suppose that's required if you're a pirate. I never really have heard of a pirate who, during an epic battle when they're trying to board a ship, they're just like, no, you guys take care of it. I'll get back here and I will account for all of the gold they have.
You don't just whip out your blunderbuss and go to town on some ninja fools.
Yeah, you're not really gonna need a sword if you have a gun, you know?
Sword play is done in a very different manner in the Monkey Island series, but we'll get to that gimmick when we get to it.
That guy sure leaves the kitchen a lot. I wonder what he has to do. Doesn't he have like a waitress to take care of things?
He's got to stretch his legs, you know. He doesn't get much exercise here in this scumbar.
Yeah, I noticed what was his weight.
He's got to keep stepping on this until the seagull's at an apt distance for you to pick up that fish.
No, seriously, buzz off. Go away.
There you go.
I really don't like how that fish is looking at me.
Yeah. Looks more like a shrimp than a fish, but I ain't got a quibble. I'm not a fish racist.
I still love how the big pirate captains, they get their own little table, nobody else wants to talk to them. I mean, look over here on this side, it looks rowdy, it's fun, but over there it's just quiet and kind of depressing.
What is it that makes me think that the guys at the table are Ron Gilbert, Tim Schafer, and the other guy?
You know, now that I think about it, that would actually be kind of apt, you know?
Okay, the third guy, who I keep forgetting, is Dave Grossman. I'm sorry, I've really got to pay dues here.
Everybody's got to pay dues if you're a pirate. That's why they take dues from other people.
Ahoy there, fancy pants.
Okay, we gotta pick up a sword, and we gotta buy the sword. Man, these adventure games are hard.
I know, what intense gameplay.
About this sword.
I did mention in the previous
Well,
part
about it.
that if you wait long enough, a couple of guys will come along and like chuck a sword
That's
down
a
into the
piece of
water.
fake.
I'm not sure if that allows you to bypass this in kind of like a speedrun sense, but
take it.
something to look out for.
Great.
It's not really a speed run, you have to wait until they drop a sword for you. I wonder, like, I haven't actually watched a speed run of, like, an adventure game. Like, is it just following the FAQs super fast? What else can you skip? MVM, help me out here.
Well, speedruns become FAQs and FAQs become speedruns.
I like how the sword has its own little exercise name, Slashmaster. Slashmaster sounds like an anime fantasy RPG class. You are the Slashmaster. You are the Explodo Mage or something.
That thing about, you wanted to be sharp as your wit, that ties into the gimmick. I'm just going to keep up this pretense like I don't know what the gimmick is.
Well, or anybody else, you know, because this is very popular and infamous by now. I do like how a lot of the game takes place at night. It looks very nice. I've always been a fan of night settings, you know, sunsets, things like that.
I'm kind of the opposite, although I do like a good sunset. I feel, unless you're using a lot of neon, a lot of lights, it kind of saps scenes of energy, but it really depends on the game.
Oh my god, it's a literal troll at the bridge.
You must pay a toll.
None shall pass.
What?
Stand aside, troll. I'm a mighty pirate.
Really? You? You haven't even completed 3 trials yet.
Yeah, you don't have your accreditation from the university.
Alright, let's just speed things up.
I can out-insult anybody, you brainless clay doppelganger.
Okay, I didn't mean to speed things up that quick, that's too far. You hurt his feelings.
Take that and stick it in your repertoire.
By which I mean your arse.
Shall pass.
I'll just give him the bloody fish.
None shall pass.
Alright, shut up, I'm working on it.
Red herring.
But Tish.
Well gosh, that's a subtle Monty Python reference when you think about it.
It's George Lucas. Applause!
Are you sure that's George Lucas?
It's George Lucas. I believe the special edition made it more obvious by giving him a flannel shirt.
Yeah, it had more detail than just a few pixels. I would think that would help.
I love how jaunty the map screen music is.
Is this a barber shop?
Really? That's what you're going with? This is the home of an acclaimed sword master, or a sword trainer, I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry, because I looked at the sign. Those are 2 crossed swords. I honestly thought it was a pair of scissors.
You idiot.
Could you make me the best sword fighter on Melee?
I'm sorry, I only play Brawl.
Counting the sword master.
counting everybody. I want to be the best.
The very best, like no one ever was.
You?
I do like how the, portraits in this game, they don't move the mouth at all. Although I have to admit, being able to talk with a big-ass cigar in your mouth like that would be a pretty good feat.
I'll say one thing that the special edition did better, in terms of like these close-up scenes, is that they have actual backgrounds. You're not just existing in a colour void.
But I digress.
This guy kind of looks like a super old Nick Fury. Well, the white version, obviously.
I thought a cable
So we have
first.
what it takes.
I can get a cable vibe, yeah.
Just keep saying, like, I do so, until he gives in. Much like how you should solve every problem in life.
I like your spirit. I'll do what I can. Of course, it'll cost you.
I wonder how much it costs to get this kind of lot over here on Melee Island. It's got very nice surrounding scenery. I bet it must have cost a
What do
fortune.
you got?
Well, he's a swordmaster, so he could protect his land. Maybe he bought it up, who knows?
Say no more,
That's true.
say no
I would
more.
assume he was
Let's
paid
see
very
your
well
sword.
for his services.
Okay, check it out.
Yeah,
Here's the one in my pants.
nice one. Let's get to it.
I've always wanted to be a swordsmaster, Helldragon, I don't know about you.
Is that why you enjoy playing Zelda so much? Because of those sequences where you get to train with swordplay?
For all that gameplay where you get to use a sword?
I know, it's weird.
Yeah, when I switch to a bow, I just become furious.
Chuck thing has put a cramp on business. I got no choice. I need the
Well,
money.
if you have no choice, why don't you take on LeChuck yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you know about this LeChuck guy, but I don't think it would end well.
Just want you to know, I don't do this with everyone.
You're special, I don't like you. Oh, he said it, okay.
Student mentor.
I like you because you paid me money.
That I'm going
I tend to like most people when that happens too.
The machine.
The machine.
Is it Kane, the big red machine?
Machine? Is this gonna hurt? Yikes.
Well, alright.
There is a monkey on top of that bucket.
Watch your footwork. No! Beat first, then lunge.
This is just
Distance,
ridiculous.
distance.
Stabbed a monkey, how hard is this?
Recover, parry, riposte. Distance, distance.
Hours later.
You're starting to get the hang of it.
Days later.
More hours later.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a
You
classic
got
gag
good
that always
form.
gets me.
Now I'm gonna let you in on the true secret of sword fighting.
Wait, we weren't learning sword fighting this whole
Sword
time?
fighting is kind of like making love.
With the sword that you keep in your pants.
What you say. Any fool pirate can swing a sharp piece of metal around and hope to cut something.
Lord knows you're doing it here.
They know just when to cut their opponent with an insult.
See,
One
sharp
that
as your
catches 'em
wit.
off guard. You see, kid,
This reminds me of the
wits
custom
can be
class that
twice
showed
as
up in that
sharp as your
webcomic
sword.
Order the Stick, where you actually
Try and
use
cover
insults
themselves out,
to disable your opponent while you're fencing with them.
Imagine this. We're fighting up a storm. Just like Carla and I were doing at Port Royal.
Oh, enough of you and
There's a
Carla.
sudden
I
break
don't
in
do
front
shipping,
of you.
okay? And yes, I know this is
You
appropriate
fight
given
like a
pirates
dairy
and all.
farmer.
I don't need you to be talking about making love, alright? You must be thinking of something else. I am not your farmer.
You must be thinking of someone else. I am not a farmer.
That's just what I'd say in this situation.
I can see we've got a lot of work to do here.
Years later.
You should have responded with something like, "How appropriate. You fight like a cow."
Classic, exquisite
It's
memes.
razor sharp
That's true,
blade.
that's the line everybody remembers, and it's kind of just setting up the whole basic idea of sword fighting in this game. You have to use insults to win, not just
My
your
sword just
skill with the
slashed
blade.
2 cuts into your
I'll explain
face.
more once we
I
actually get
said,
into the sword fighting
Soon you'll
proper.
be wearing my sword like a shish kebab.
I smoke 50 packs a day.
So's your mother.
I
Just
can
a
see we're in
pause.
trouble here.
The beat is one of the best comedic tools, I
A
think.
correct
Yeah, you just gotta
response
use it
to,
correctly.
"Soon you'll be wearing my sword like a shish kebab" would have been something like, "First, you better stop waving it around like a feather duster."
Maybe
See?
take that doner kebab off it first before you're gonna stab me.
Now,
How appropriate, you dust like a cow.
learn some
How
insults.
appropriate, you talk like a Let's
I can't
Player.
help but feel like I've been ripped off. I'm sure you're feeling something similar.
Alright, someone fetch the glue, we gotta mend the fourth wall. Alright, let's go find us a pirate and, just aggravate them. Sounds like a good idea.
This is basically the core of the whole system here. You don't know enough bad insults yet, so you actually have to go around and learn them from other people, other situations, in order to get through this part of the game.
this does take a while, so you'll forgive me if I edit it down a lot. What you gotta do is you gotta challenge them to a fight, and you've kind of got to bait them into saying new stuff. Like, they'll, you know, put forth an insult, and you've got to respond to that. And this is the way you learn new insults, and you're going to need a lot before you can take down the Swordmaster.
It's an interesting implementation of, you know, typically adventure games, let's be honest, many of them are not very good with arcade-style stuff. We've seen that in Space Quest 1, especially. But, you know, I always thought this was not only a good way to make a physical activity more based around puzzle solving, but again, it fits really well within the Monkey Island universe. I can easily see why this is so memorable. I think in, like, the 4th game, they used some weird, shitty rock, paper, scissors system where you're trading around monkey sounds or something like that.
Monkey Kung Fu or something, I believe.
It was Monkey Combat, you know, like Mortal Kombat. It even had a K for combat.
So yeah, you just got to get lucky and hope they use a new one on you, and then that goes into your list, and you can try to use it to respond to their insults in further battles.
I want to see competitive insult sword fighting.
My name is Guybrush Threepwood. Prepare to die.
The guy didn't just lose hair, by the way, that was a jump cut. As you can see, I've gotten a few new ones.
Oh, there we go. You grinding off screen.
And when you use these insults on pirates, they'll basically sometimes give you the proper response. So in this way you learn, and you grow as a witty type of person.
It's so weird we're seeing his development into being an asshole who just makes fun of everybody.
Right?
I kind of wish it worked like that in real life, because clearly I need more insults for my own repertoire.
Why? Did you want to borrow one?
Oh, snap.
Oh, sick burn?
Okay, let's fire off another zinger.
This is the end for you, you gutter-crawling cur.
And I've got a little tip for you. Get the point?
Stab, stab, stab.
Yeah, you can actually pick bad responses to them, and it just ends up not making any fucking sense.
What I love about it is there's different types of responses. Like, there's a confident response, and then there's like the, you know, downplayed kind of one, the nervous response for when you get it wrong.
You're gonna fight this guy over again. I hate it when they take up so much of the video grinding the same encounters over and over.
Shut up.
I am rubber, you are glue.
I'm getting better.
They need an insult that's just, nuh-uh.
Nobody's ever drawn blood from me, and nobody ever will.
You run that fast?
Oh, good one. I spent weeks coming up with that.
This is the end for you.
I want to see, like, the book of insults. There's got to be a book available for pirate swordplay insults, and you just have to sit there and memorize every single one. Why are you wearing a stupid shirt?
Diapers yet?
I'm shaking. Wow, you're good enough to fight the Sword Master.
Go on to the next part of the game. I think you've progressed enough.
Yeah, I like how they helpfully tell you that you're good enough to fight the Swordmaster now.
I cut that down to a couple of minutes, but in reality it was about 15 to 20.
Youch. It's a good thing you did, man.
It was a long recording session, and really you didn't need to see me grinding for insults.
It was such a difficult display of gameplay that I am glad you have spared us.
It wasn't that great. I showed you Ed Tom's best of there.
You and I have to have an insult swordplay fight one time, just to see who is the better reparteer, so to speak.
Hey, give me your best shot.
What, now?
Yeah.
I'm not ready. I need to prepare.
No time like the present.
Oh god, all those are really mean. I actually can't say that.
Alright, no, I'll give one for you, see if it will push you a little bit. You talk like a cassette tape that's jumping in a car.
What?
I'm looking for the Swordmaster.
Did you win?
I rubber you on Lou.
Nuh-uh.
I don't know.
Well, that went places.
Nobody knows the whereabouts of her secret hideout.
Except for me, of course, so don't follow me.
I'd have to go and ask her if it's okay to show you the way.
So I wonder if Tress McNeil shows up in this game, because we've seen Jess Harnell. Rob Paulson is here, of course, so...
And don't touch anything!
Not even the floor.
Don't touch yourself, especially not yourself.
Yeah, man, I've got cameras every... Okay, well, you know what I mean.
Cue stealth music.
Just ignore me. I'm sneakily stealthing after you in this brightly lit open area.
Oh, Mr. Fleetwood, I don't want to see you sneaking around everywhere. People might think you're up to something.
Da 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 da.
Ta-da!
So weird that the water never moves. Now I'm just thinking it's like blue curated jello in the background.
You wanted to use this version, Mr. Special Edition Sucks.
So does that guy ever leave his post? He just sits there next to his bonfire all day?
He's the lookout. Would you prefer we get gangplanked by galleons?
This better be good.
Oh, we're going to fight a swordmaster. Does anything please you these days?
Nope.
Maybe if the swordmaster was a transformer.
That would probably help, actually.
Oh,
there
son
was
of a
that
bitch.
one robot, Drift, who had like 2 katanas he used and like no guns.
Of course they're katanas, of course they are.
And he had like big anime shoes too.
Okay, the bridge is open and the path is set, so let's walk it.
Yes, let us take a path. Good. What is that sprite doing? What are you jigging?
Cutting a hearty jig.
Man, cutting the grass up, so to speak.
Hello again, Carla.
I thought I told you to get lost.
Actually, I
Lecherous
know
old
the
man
business.
trope, a classic.
Come into my store, see?
Face it, you crusty old lech. You make
Krusty's
any
never a good
excuse
word
just
to use.
Come out here and bother me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
Well,
cut it out.
better go back and tell
I'm
him
sick
that
of it.
you don't want to
Take
see
a
him.
hike And don't come out here again.
I just hiked all the way up
Follow
here.
you, and then I'd become another Melee Island tourist attraction.
Melee Island
Hey,
trademark
if you're
tourist
lost,
attraction, I
baby.
think you'll find.
Yeah, right. Now scram.
Well, really what you have to do in these kind of situations to avoid being a tourist is just to simply declare your place as a preserve, so nobody can come on there without paying you.
Yes? No?
That works a little bit.
I thought better of it.
The pun is mightier, there you go.
Than the sword.
Nicely done. You see, you're so happy.
I'm so pleased with myself. You gotta have fun while you record.
I never have fun, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's why you record so many or so few playthroughs for us.
How dare you approach the Swordmaster without permission?
How do
Which
your
I
earrings
surely didn't
function?
give you.
Yeah, like, I just don't...
I'm selling these.
I'm selling these fine leather jackets. Would you like to
You
buy
have
one?
in size 3?
That is a line that shows up in Indiana Jones: The Fate of Atlantis, which is another LucasArts adventure game. That's typically the line he tries to use when he has nothing else better to say to try and talk his way past somebody.
Well, there was an indie quote earlier, it belongs in a museum.
Well, I mean, that's more common. I mean, let's be honest, anybody can say that, although everybody does say it because of Indiana Jones now.
The way you fight the Swordmaster is actually a little bit different to how you take on the pirates. She'll say different stuff, but you still gotta use the same responses.
Better stop waving it like a feather duster.
Don't fuck it up, Tom.
I will milk every drop of blood from your body.
Milk? Sounds like you gotta respond with, how appropriate. You fight like a cow.
That should just drive you backward anyway, because it doesn't really match
I
up
hope
that
you have a
well.
boat ready for a quick escape.
Oh, I think I know the answer to this one.
Now you learn how to stop picking your nose.
My name is feared in every dirty corner.
I don't
of this
actually
island.
know this one.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
So pathetic.
There are no clever moves that can help you now.
The correct answer to this is, yes there are, you just
I
haven't
am
learned
rubber,
them.
you are glue.
Ah.
Only once have I met such a coward.
I've seen more thrilling 90s PC combat.
He must have taught you everything you know.
I love how cocky he sounds when he gets it right.
This reminds me a lot of
My
Sid
tongue
Meier's
is
Pirates. You ever
sharper
see
than
that
any
game?
sword.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
First, you'd better stop waving it like a feather duster.
Oh, Z-Snap.
Okay, you already used that one. That should not be that effective.
I usually see people like you passed out on tavern floors.
Line?
And,
I got a tip
little
for you.
tip for you.
Get the point?
The point?
No one will ever catch me fighting as badly as you do.
Oh, I know the answer to this one.
You run that fast?
And I think Bingo was his name-o.
I give up. You win. Well, I hope you're happy.
I'm quite
You can go
pleased,
back
yes.
And brag to all your friends about how you beat the Swordmaster.
You know, what can I say? I have an FAQ, and that was like the 50th take.
Really?
Because I don't have all the insults, 'cause I didn't want to grind for that long, so I just essentially had to get a good run. And I love novelty t-shirts. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, let's just make a sarcastic quip here and be on our way.
The pun is mightier than the sv.
A hollow victory.
There you go.
Okay, guys, we've done 2 trials now, so by the process of elimination, we'll see you next time for the 3rd and final trial. See you then.